the heart of love. We are all brought back to the heart of love, and all love entails. This includes kindness, caring for all life and life forms, a deep reconnection with the divinity which lives within all of creation, visible and invisible. The heart has 33 chambers, and each chamber holds certain aspects of love's expression. When any of these chambers are still closed, we often close ourselves off from truly experiencing love in the deepest sense. For love has so often been confused with romantic love, and the love between a man and woman, or family or friends, or whatever, when in love all is all-embracing. It does not stop at human knowledge and experiences of love. Love is cosmic. The deeper one delves into the divinity of love's expression and deep inner knowing, the more the heart opens to now become a true form of soul expression. For the soul in truth is loving energy, for it holds divine love within its very core. I had a profound conversation with Mary Magdalene regarding this a few days ago, as she is now serving on the Intergalactic Council and has taken on, as Ascended Master, the task of unifying humanity so that we can experience the deepest oneness and all-embracing love once more, the true innocence of love, which can only see the divinity in all it encounters, knowing that love is omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. The divine feminine now truly is anchored in, and this is softening the heart of so many, and in times of crisis, or challenges, this is when the true heart of humanity reveals itself the most. Yet all love first starts within the self, and you can only truly love and embrace another to the degree that you can love yourself into the deepest shadows and the highest light. All of you. And then only can you truly love another to the same degree. I remember once reading something Thich Nhat Hanh said, that the heart needs to crack open, like an open heart surgery, so that it can finally experience the true power of love. I remember my brother sharing with me, after he nearly died of a heart attack, and needed the heart surgery, and survived 3 in the end, that in that moment, facing death, he had an immense revelation, that love in truth is all that is. Love is the power of the core of creation, of all existence. Archangel Nathanael, love, peace, freedom. Love, peace, and freedom form an inseparable whole, and bring you to completion on the spiritual path of awakening. One cannot exist without the other, one cannot be implemented without the other, one is incomplete without the other. To live love, peace, and freedom means to have overcome duality, and to no longer separate the worldly from the spiritual life. This inner struggle, this inner conflict in which spiritual and worldly are opposed to each other, is eliminated as soon as you are aware that the separation does not exist, and as soon as you become aware of what causes this separation within you. The separation between worldly and spiritual only exists as long as the human consciousness insists on this distinction, under the influence of the ego. Worldly and spiritual are 2 equally important poles that work together, they complement and condition each other. Understanding this polarity, and integrating it into your thinking, feeling, and acting is part of the realignment that is now taking place among people so that they can lead a life that is open to the world. To live in unity with God means to always live in unity with everything, and this entails integrating the worldly and the spiritual so that they form an indivisible unity instead of standing in misunderstanding against each other. Overcome duality, achieve polarity. Overcoming duality and achieving polarity means replacing confrontation with cooperation, achieving inner harmony in thinking, feeling, and acting. Then the world changes in you, and with you, then you achieve what was previously unattainable, then the apparent opposites, like light and shadow, can be understood, integrated and loved. Then life is in flow because you have calmed your dual mind, and inspired a deeper perception of being. Then your life begins, your life in love, in peace, and in freedom. We want to give our full attention to freedom now. I am Archangel Nathanael. With the power of God I come to you, and it is coming true that more and more people can feel the presence of God, and want to open themselves to the divine. Your hearts begin to long for unity, your souls are ready for the great transformation, and your human consciousness breaks down all barriers, gives up the delusions, and finds itself again. The great change is taking place through the great changes within yourself. It has begun. It continues. Impressively and unstoppably, humanity is being reborn. The truth breaks through. We have entered an era in which everything is being transformed for the benefit of all. It is obvious that everything is in motion, everything is being moved in the truest and most proverbial sense of the word. No stone is left unturned, and every person is called upon to broaden their perception, and, in doing so, to remain true to themselves. As people's longing for the true and beautiful is activated, evil becomes visible. While the true seeker finds the unheard of and the unspeakable, the light penetrates on all levels. While wars, conflicts, and attacks on all living things are the order of the day, humanity is in awakening mode. While sometimes there seems to be no way out of a difficult situation, heaven opens its gates, and divine powers come to the aid of people. While everything that has kept the wheel of time turning in secret is revealed, humanity is turning the game around, intervening in a healing way, in the wheel of time, and in the course of the world. In the sight of God, in these days, when everything seems lost, everything is won. For now the truth breaks through purifyingly. Due to the situation, where people are losing trust in familiar faces as well as in established institutions, the desire arises to consciously shape their own reality, and to take responsibility for their own existence. The collapse of the systems releases the brakes, and is seen by more and more people as a signal for an inner awakening. On all levels, visible and invisible, the new humanity is preparing its path to shape the future in a light-filled, peaceful manner, and connected with earthly and supernatural forces. The time when no stone will be left unturned is now. The changes are fundamental, existential and all-encompassing. What you don't want. The time when evil serves good, darkness serves light, fear serves love. The greatest service is now, because for the first time humanity is becoming aware of what it does not want. The forces that want to thwart this collective change in consciousness throw everything into the bowl, and so you often end up with a distorted perception. The impression that the course of the world is unfavorable, leading to ruin, and not to the ascension, that has been repeatedly announced to you, arises because the manipulators of the system want you to think that. The more these thoughts become entrenched in you, the more likely it is that it will happen exactly as it is, that you will experience it exactly as it is. Not every single or fleeting thought creates reality, but every thought that takes root in you has the power to shape reality. You have the choice of letting the destructive whispering circulate, or listening to eternity and trusting in the whispers of God. The current path of insecurity, uncertainty, and instability must be mastered, and this means going through this time with deep trust in God. Challenging stretch of the trail. The mastery of humanity includes this crucial and challenging part of the journey. Now it is time to overcome difficulties, attacks, and assaults in community with God, and in community with awakened and awakening people. And I repeat the message. Only when the darkness is dramatically revealed can you make an unequivocal decision for the light. People who have been cut off from their true spiritual nature for many lifetimes need these massive impulses to reconnect so that the right questions can be raised, and the healing answers received. Nothing can change on a dense energy level without the light that breaks up the incrustations and makes them visible. So please do not worry, because God's wake-up call is reaching people and their hearts. What, how, where? What does this mean for you, who are in the midst of everyday life, and sometimes don't know what to do or can't do? How can you reach the kingdom of heaven within you? How can you strengthen love, hold the light, and preserve what is true and beautiful within you? How can we achieve peace and life freedom in our everyday lives? Freedom to live where freedom is increasingly restricted, freedom to express where it is suppressed, freedom to radiate where it is unwanted and perceived as a threat. How is it possible to live well while the whole world is being rebuilt, and the rebuilding brings with it unrest, uncertainty, and discord? Where do you have to stand to see without being seen, to walk without leaving a trace, to be and not just to become? First peace, then freedom. Beloved person. Freedom begins with inner peace. First comes peace, then comes freedom. This means, direct all your attention to the disharmony within you. The kingdom of peace is not reached by chance, but this path requires loving attention to your open issues, to the disharmony within you. Exercise. Please do the simple exercise. Breathe in and out calmly and deeply 3 times. Observe your thoughts and don't dwell on them. Observe without judging, without commenting, until everything calms down inside. Now ask yourself the question: with whom am I at odds? Now wait for the inner images. Watch them rise on their own. It is a very relaxed process. Are you ready to make peace with these people within yourself? Your yes sets everything in motion. Break. Do the same with all situations that create unrest within you. Be ready for healing. Be ready to accept all coincidences and reflections, and be unconditionally honest with yourself. Unconditional honesty that hurts is the only condition for successful transformation and healing work. Your ego demands its place. Give the ego its place. Because only those who are unconditionally ready to achieve true inner peace and reconciliation will be given everything. The river of life flows to you. Don't stand in its way. That means no fighting, but understanding. No conflict, but liberation. No war, but peace within you. Is this an attractive and acceptable offer for you? Perceiving the external with the internal, the worldly with the spiritual, yin and yang, as a complementary and inseparable unity leads to the healing you have been yearning for eons. That is why every healing begins within you and can never be achieved through external changes. Once you have achieved inner peace with people and situations, the door to freedom opens. Freed from inner conflicts, liberated from the compulsion to fight, and healed from anger at others, you look at the world with different eyes. Now you are ready to do whatever it takes to remove further touchstones and to address what is limiting your freedom. And again you turn your gaze inward. Your perception remains with you, instead of handing over responsibility and power to the outside. To be free means to be free from programming, free from opinions, free from concepts, free from false beliefs, free from misconceptions, free from curses or maledictions, free from everything that limits a human life, free from controlled thinking, free from manipulated feelings, free from spiritual concepts. Just as peace is achieved by working on and with yourself, freedom is achieved by working on your imagined and real limitations. Now you enjoy this work, you look with joy at your remaining programming, patterns, beliefs, and inner images that need to be questioned. Because as soon as you have entered the kingdom of peace, you understand how to work with yourself, and like a sculptor, you complete the work on yourself through dedication and perseverance. Prayers or mantras provide great energetic support as they tune and align you internally, but they are never the solution. Freedom cannot be achieved by praying or reciting mantras, but only by empowering oneself for freedom. This means removing one's inner barriers, lifting one's self-limitations and self-restrictions. Ask and it will be given to you. Say the following. Authorization. I ask for the strength and endurance for my transformation processes so that I can resolve my open issues regarding freedom patiently and with complete devotion. God is my witness. I am ready for complete inner healing and great transformation. I am ready to overcome the fear of my history and find true self-love. Surijamisthr. Be aware, everything is now in motion. Success will only fail if you flee from yourself, if you allow yourself to be more impressed by the fear of the inner images than by the prospect of healing. Once you have done this work of self-liberation, you are a unique gift to people and can then turn to the external struggle for freedom. For those who are equipped with this task, the inner work of liberation is essential and existential, otherwise every endeavor fails. The exercises. To be ready for any answer, and to be ready for any truth that your transformation processes reveal to you. The exercise is to become a new person, by accepting, understanding, and healing the old person. The exercises, self-love to achieve freedom. Where the pain is greatest, direct the light there, for there lies the healing. Is this an attractive and acceptable offer for you? If so, then be prepared to take the balls that life throws at you from today onwards, and to engage with the reflections of life without any ifs and buts. Do you want to live a spiritual life? Integrate your everyday life. Do you want to live a free life? Conquer inner freedom. Do you want to fulfill your mission? Remove what is stopping you. Being free in a world with restrictions on freedom is possible for those who have worked their way to their true self. The process takes place when you pay attention to what is outside, as it is important for your inner transformation. Because a lot of things happen without you, and you cannot directly influence a lot of things. What is always in your hands, however, is how you shape your life, what you align yourself with, and how you progress with your work of insight. The right balance. JJK, the issue of this time is, when should you defend yourself, say no, stop, and halt against a system that is becoming increasingly aggressive, or simply retreat into yourself until the healing work is complete? What is the right balance? Archangel Nathanael, the reason it works is that man can perceive the hand of God in his life. A successful battle on the outside always requires a successful battle on the inside, and requires a spiritual connection to God. If this basis is laid, then a person's missions unfold automatically. If this basis is missing, then the fighters for freedom themselves become the greatest oppressors as soon as they have achieved their goals. First comes the inner healing and clarification work, because the ego wants to be integrated, and the imperfect wants to be healed. Once a person has entered the kingdom of peace, and has conquered their inner freedom, their spiritual path begins to unfold all by itself. The right balance between inner healing work and outer enlightenment work emerges naturally once the issues that lead to this question have been considered, recognized, and healed. A person who lives his mission is in balance, no matter what he is doing at the moment. Wherever this person directs his attention, it happens in harmony with his soul. JJK, many light workers are currently experiencing a loss of balance, people who have already done a lot of their spiritual homework. What is the difference between sometimes not feeling centered, and generally being out of balance? Archangel Nathanael, duration makes the difference. Anyone who is permanently or regularly off track has a lot of catching up to do on their inner light work. If you sometimes feel like you're not quite in the middle, sometimes you're not quite with yourself, sometimes you're thrown around by energies and events, then don't make a big fuss about it. It will pass as soon as it came. If you're constantly in inner turmoil, you're constantly anxious and plagued by fear of the future, then you need to delve into yourself, get to the bottom of the causes, and regain the lost freedom of feeling and thinking. Because freedom begins where very few people look for it within you. JJK, freedom means to deal with the right matters, to know and live your mission. Archangel Nathanael, how does it feel to be doing what you are doing now? That is the question that every person must address if they want to achieve peace and freedom. You are not free as long as you are occupied with other people's affairs, so that you no longer have time to get to the essentials. JJK, some people lack the time and money for transformation work. Archangel Nathanael, the only thing that many people really lack for complete self-healing is spiritual maturity and the real will. If both are present, everything in life moves towards you, because God will take care of everything as soon as your own healing is the most important thing to you. Lack of time or money is used as an excuse by promising adepts, until the longing for God is awakened, and this removes all excuses. If you are really ready, then God will give you everything, including strength, time, and money. So I encourage you to look in the right place, not to allow yourself to be distracted or misled by external factors, but to complete yourself by following the path of healing to the end. The old world has lost its power, and love, peace, freedom are now born in you. Blessed are you, human and free. Holy are you, human and great, and there is life everywhere. Archangel Nathanael. The Arcturian Group, Energies Resurfacing. Welcome, dear readers. Always know that these messages flow to you on energies of light, hope, encouragement, and truth, through which you then become silent light workers, wordlessly bringing these same truths to those receptive, simply through the presence of your state of consciousness. Personally and globally, the world is experiencing the effects of the resurfacing of energies that have lain hidden, dormant, and largely unknown for centuries. High resonating frequencies of light energy automatically act to expose dormant old energies, allowing them to reactivate, be experienced, and recognized for what they represent individually and globally, which will begin the process of clearing them from Earth's collective consciousness. Regardless how rich, powerful, famous, important or unimportant, religious, ordinary, good or bad, individuals who choose to continue aligning with the low resonating energies of duality, separation, and two powers will not be able to live in the higher 5D energies of an ascended Earth. This is not a punishment, for God does not punish, or even have concepts of punishing itself, but rather is due to the fact that energy always seeks to align with like energy, and those choosing to remain in low resonating energy will not be able to align with the higher. Life experiences reflect what one state of consciousness is in alignment with. It is not always personal, such as when a person has certain fears because of past life experiences, but rather is simply their alignment with collective consciousness. Because there is only one, every individualization of that one seeks to align as one. This is why three-dimensional concepts of good, money, material goods, success, status, power, etc. will and can never satisfy the deep inner longing and continual search for completeness and wholeness that every human has. 1. Alignment examples: hypochondriacs draw to themselves health issues. Every declared war on this disease or that situation simply adds energy to and further empowers it. Victims attract victim situations and violence attracts violence. Fear often attracts the very thing that is feared, be it disease, loss, etc. The key of spiritual understanding and the goal of evolution is that there is only one. Material concepts will always be temporary regardless of how wonderful and fulfilling or horrible and bad they may be. This is because material concepts have no divine law, reality, to permanently support, maintain, and sustain them. Concepts of both good and bad are simply mind-formed interpretations of a spiritual reality or divine idea. Mind is an avenue of awareness interpreting and manifesting a person's state of consciousness, which makes every person a creator. It is time to put rites and rituals, special prayers, symbols, etc. aside. These things were important facets of your evolutionary process, but no longer serve, and in fact can hold you in separation, once you know that you already are what you have been seeking through these tools. Keep yourself centered in oneness at all times regardless of outer appearances. It is through the continual living and practice of truth that a person eventually evolves beyond hundreds of lifetimes of three-dimensional programming and graduates to a consciousness of truth. Old habits and ways of thinking often follow a person from lifetime to lifetime, making it difficult for some to move beyond certain people, places, things, traditions, and beliefs even after they realize that these things no longer serve them as they once did. Never attempt to keep something you have spiritually outgrown alive and well in order to please another or to fit in. This can be fine up to a point, as you may occasionally have to play the game, but never surrender personal power, which is a spiritual quality, to some person or group simply because they demand it. Moving beyond the past is like cleaning out a cluttered attic. As each box is opened, the emotions and experiences that accompany its contents begin to manifest. Do not resist the emotions of love, hate, regret, sadness, joy, depression, or even revulsion that may surface, but rather allow them expression in the realization the experiences associated with these memories helped you evolve to where you are today. Without judgment, acknowledge and release them in the realization that every bit of debris, false concepts and beliefs you clear from your consciousness attic makes more room for truth. We have often explained that love is the energy flowing between and connecting all expressions of the one divine consciousness/God, and is never limited to three-dimensional concepts of it. This same energy can, and does manifest as hate, violence, and negativity when flowing from states of consciousness conditioned by and filled with beliefs of duality, separation, and two powers. God is, always has, and will continue to infinitely express itself in, as, and through its expressions because it cannot do otherwise. God is always simply being God. Every individual, not the human ego concept of person, but the real self, embodies the fullness, and not just a portion of God, for how could an infinite omnipresent God divide itself into portions? Life on earth is not just about getting and achieving concepts of good, but rather every lifetime for every individual with all its experiences both good and bad is for the sole purpose of spiritual evolution, and eventually realizing that there is only one, that every life is that one life, every mind is divine mind, and every consciousness is divine consciousness, even if it means a few lifetimes of falling flat on one's face. Self embodies every quality of God: freedom, comfort, abundance, harmony, completeness, intelligence, and is self-sustained and maintained wholeness, completeness, lacking nothing. Am I allowing others to experience their divine qualities, or do I just want them for myself? Allow others the freedom to be who they are in the knowledge that the negative experience so many are experiencing at this time may very well be experiences that they themselves chose pre-birth as being necessary for spiritual growth. There really are no accidents. Let truth be your sword and shield in every situation, trusting that all is proceeding according to plan, because Earth's ascension into her real self is a divine plan, never subject to three-dimensional beliefs, concepts, or desires. We are the Arcturian group. SorceryOfLight.com. The other videos are in the English video playlist. Help me spread the light. Click like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.